All right, so there's no gimmicks, there's no special opener or anything like that to this video. There's not even gonna be any music. I just want to just kind of speak directly. And you saw the title. This is a defense of those teachers who decide that they want an OF. If you don't know what OF means, it stands for OnlyFans. That want an OnlyFans account, and actually in defense of school districts as well. And in a case, both of them are actually right. And I'm gonna explain why. All right. So we could make this a discussion about morality. This could be a moral issue, and to an extent it is, but really it's actually a lot simpler. And if you been on my channel for some time right now, you know that I include Jesus Christ into my videos. I'm not ashamed of that. People today aren't ashamed about their debauchery, so why should I be ashamed about my belief for that matter? So with that being said, I'm going to actually use what I see as the ultimate authority in morality, and that is the word of the living God. You have to forgive me for whatever flies are flying around here, but John 7:17. So I'm opening this up by saying this: if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of it myself. Now, why that particular scripture? Using this scripture, and I'm reading off my computer right now. If any man will do his will, if any man will do his will. So the fact that it says, if any man will do his will, the will of God himself, the will of the Father through Jesus Christ, you have a choice. There's a choice there. God didn't create us to be automatons, to be robots. I'm pretty sure you heard some pastor say that, some messenger preacher say that at some point in time on the internet or at a church or whatever, but it's true. The Lord is not looking for us to be robots. He created us to have free will. The problem today, and why this whole OnlyFans thing is an issue from the way I see it, is that people want to be able to do what they want and be absolved of the consequences. They want to be able to, they want people to accept what they're doing and it be okay with them. All right. But it's not, It's especially as debauchery continues to just spread like a virus here on this earth, and things are just continuing to be backwards, evil for good and good for evil. And that's exactly what's happening. People want to be absolved from the consequences. So as we're making sexual activity to be very public and to be very acceptable, because that's what's being pushed right now, people want to be able to push that onto other people and it be okay, but it's not. So with that being said, going back to the OnlyFans teacher, this is, I guess, in Saint Montclair. I don't have the article pulled up, and this actually came up on my own Facebook feed. There was another article. There was one teacher that I didn't even know about 6 months ago. She had an OnlyFans account, and the teachers or the students found it, whatever the case may be, and now she's making more money, and she left being a teacher, which is fine. She has every right to do that. She has the free will. The reason that is such a big issue is because they don't want people feel like she should still be teaching and still be able to have that OnlyFans account. But it's much simpler to even be in a moral issue. All right. The whole point of this video is that everybody has free will, but whatever you decide to do, you will not be accepted from the consequences. All right. You will not be exempt from the consequences. And that's the problem. So she has every right to actually sit up here and indulge in that if she sees that that's her only way out. That's another thing. People see themselves as being desperate and like, I just got to do this. I just got to commit crimes. Me being a black guy, it's almost like I just got to go rob somebody. That's my only way out. Like, I don't have anything else. Like, crime was my only answer. And that's BS. That's BS. All right. People act in desperation. They just do crazy things and then they try to justify it just because I don't know, their circumstances, which is ridiculous. So now this lady, according to article, she made all this money. Fine, leave teaching. But this is where I come and I defend the school districts. One thing that I learned is that schools are a brand, and they can make a decision to actually continue to associate with you if this is what you are, or not associate with you. It's their reputation on the line. And actually, to be honest with you, besides reputation, my students try to like look me up all the time on the internet. And I have this YouTube account, I have all these other things, but you know what? When students pull me up online, they just crack jokes and, well, this guy's content is lame. This ain't for us. Let's move on. It doesn't interfere with the learning environment. No other teacher or no other admin has saw my activity on the internet to be misrepresentative. They haven't seen it as something that's going to jeopardize their name and their brand, which is why it's never come into question. But if it was supposed to be an issue, if I was to go on Facebook and just start lambasting my principal or saying something stupid or just talking dumb about the district I'm working in, then they would have every right. I've raised red flags. I created this problem. So with me sitting up here, like now all of a sudden creating an issue that wasn't an issue before and then trying to defend it by saying like, it's my social media, I can say whatever I want to. Like, yeah, say whatever you want to, but you're going to be held accountable to those consequences. And schools have a right to decide, do we want to continue to associate our reputation with this person? And this, if we do allow this person to come back in a classroom, now that the cat's out the bag that they have an OnlyFans account, how is that going to affect the students that we're teaching? You know, because even when students are trying to pull me up, you know, they get distracted by that and, you know, finding your writings online and they just get impressed. But then after a while, it just vanishes. But to have sit up here and be identified as some sort of like, you know, degradant worker, all right, it becomes an issue. Now the kids are distracted. Nobody's learning. And it's going to be a block and a hindrance to what the goals are, the overall goals are for the school. That's just the issue. So this is in defense. I wanted to get on here and just make this video because I see the comments and I'm actually, you can see in the B-roll, you can see the comment that I left on the actual article for this video. I mean, on my Facebook, that's where it popped up at. But the line in the sand with this, the moral of the story, the conclusion of it all is that, look, there's going to be consequences for the things that you do. There's no such thing as being absolved from your actions. You do these things and you want people to accept them and you think that it should be okay. And that's not. That's actually very devilish, if I'm very honest with you. To just sit up here and engage in things that's very questionable to begin with, and then you just want people to just accept it. You know, we got stupid stuff going on. There's politicians making these crimes and making these laws to make crime acceptable. And now criminals are running wild in some of these like cities and stuff. And it's just crazy. It's nuts. So to think that you're going to get away with something that is very, very shady, very underhanded, you know, deep down inside into your conscience, even if forget if you're a Christian or not, you know, somewhere in your conscience, something's not right with this. And if you continue to do it over and over again, we call that, biblically, that's called having a reprobate mind. But you can also say it's just your searing of your conscience. You've indulged in this sin for so long that now you're doing everything that you can to actually protect it. And that's craziness. So if I was to get addressed in terms of my own social media, I would have the decision to make too. If the school feels like it's going to be an interference, do I take it down or do I keep it up? What choice do I have to make now? If that's the case, if you're going to decide to be a content creator online, you have to take in account that the schools have every right to consider, is this a hindrance to the learning environment? Is this going to be a hindrance to your job? And does this ruin our reputation? You have a choice to make. They have a choice to make. That's why this video is in defense of both the teacher with the OnlyFans page and the actual school districts itself. That's all for this video. Nothing to sell you, but I will maybe suggest one thing. If you want to become a teacher, if you want to be a teacher on YouTube, you want to use it to maybe talk about things that aren't so shady, and you want a very a boostful start, maybe you should check out Tubebuddy. Link is in the description for that. That's all I gotta say. Have a good one.